Hey folks, it's me, M64 Bros, and since Easter is almost coming, I thought it's a perfect opportunity to talk about one of my favorite Game Boy games I loved ever since I was young. Of course, back then, before mobile gaming took over, and before handhelds like the Steam Deck and the Nintendo Switch, we had the Game Boy. And of course, everyone has their own personal favorite Game Boy games, and of course, I know Pokemon was popular during that time. But I have no real interest in Pokemon, but I do love the AMVs though. The one Game Boy game, and I'm sure this one is so underrated, and I'm surprised not everyone talks about this version. Or maybe a few. What I'm referring to is a Game Boy game that's so underrated that it deserves more attention, and of course, I'm talking about Super Mario Land 2. Super Mario Land 2 is a direct sequel to the previous game, Super Mario Land, and it adds improved sprites and basically an open world map for you to explore, almost referencing Super Mario World since Super Mario World came out in 1990. Oops. 2 years later, Super Mario Land 2 came out, which I'm sure that's where Super Mario Land 2 was inspired by. I'm sure you guys can tell because the sprites for both Mario in Super Mario World and in Super Mario Land 2 look very identical and almost look the exact same thing. However, Super Mario Land 2 is a completely different game, and from my point of view, it almost seems like a Super Mario World that you can carry around in your pocket, which is really cool. In Super Mario Land 2, there are a bunch of new enemies that we haven't seen before until Super Mario Wonder took it over. I really love the detail of the sprite animations for the enemies, the level design, the art direction, everything, you name it. Of course, my favorite power-up is the feather power-up. Almost reminds me of the Super Mario 64 feather. Of course, the final boss, rather than being Bowser, it's Wario. And basically, this game is the very first appearance of Wario, which is actually really cool. And of course, after you defeat Wario, he cries like a newborn baby, throws a shoe at you, and then jumps off a cliff. What a way to end the game. I can easily end the video from right here, but I do want to talk about the game itself a little bit more. It deserves a lot more attention and respect from my point of view. Like, you can explore everything about the game in its world. You can go inside a whale, go in a submarine, go in a honey hive, you go inside a house and you're tiny, go touch grass. You can even go in space. This game pretty much has a lot of variety and a lot of stuff to do. And of course, you can spend your coins, get some more power-ups, lives, you name it. And everything about it just looks so beautiful. Of course, the game itself has a lot of interesting secrets, and I'm sure there are some stuff you probably never knew about the game. Also, yes, there is an easy mode for new gen players that are if it's too tricky for them. And yeah. Also, there are some cool techniques I know about the game as well. Yeah. You can still have your power-up, exit out the stage, and go back in the stage, and you'll still have your power-up, which is really cool. Also, you may notice that this is a completely different version of Super Mario Land 2. Yes, someone on the internet did actually make an official cartridge of this, and surprisingly, you can even buy the cartridge itself and play it on an actual official Game Boy or Game Boy Advance system. Also, you get to play as Luigi as well in the DX version. Also, if you change your mind, you can easily press select and switch between the two brothers instantly, which is really dang cool. Also, as someone who absolutely loves the game big time, of course I would get multiple copies of it on the OG Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo Switch, and my 3DS as always. So I loved the sprite work so much, I decided to make a Mario Maker pixel art of it. And of course, I made two versions. You can download them and try them out yourself in Super Mario Maker 2 and check out the art styles, and they're really, really dang cool. By the end of the day, I prefer the DX version of Super Mario Land 2 since it unlocks the full potential color of Super Mario Land 2. And you get to play as Luigi, and it shows everything in color. So by the end of the day, Super Mario Land 2 DX is an underrated masterpiece that deserves a lot of respect and more attention. Other than that, hope you guys like this video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So peace out.